What's going on, man? Watch the game podcast. What's happening?
Watch the game podcast. You already know what it is. You know, and you see how I'm coming this week. I had to switch it up.
We're going to treat that like the appetizer tonight in the spirit of Thanksgiving this week, a couple days away, I guess.
Yeah.
We're going to treat that as the appetizer. We're going to open up with the game.
Yeah.
Saturday morning. And then we'll get off into the catastrophe, which is Chicago Bears. But we're gonna start on a high note tonight.
Right.
Watch the game podcast.
You already know Benjamin Banneker, LA Cheatham second in. We do this every week. We talk about the Bears, we talk about NBA, we talk about college football, we talk about a lot of things. But tonight it's about the Michigan Wolverines, and as he said, beloved or catastrophic Chicago Bears.
Remember, we talked about it. We're going to either cheer for the Bears or laugh at the Bears.
Right.
Now I think it's time, excluding Justin Fields and a few other guys, not so much the players on the field, but it's time to start chuckling up and laughing at a few guys.
Yeah,
but
I'm with you.
We get off into that a little later, man. Saturday, Wolverines went out, took care of business. Hell serve, leading up to the big game for Saturday. End up beating Maryland. But earlier that day, I had a chance to watch Ohio State.
Yeah.
Against Michigan State. And if there was a lot of motivation going into this game for what you could say Ohio State, I guess. The Michigan State football coach had just got a pay raise. This was the talk of the week going into this game against Ohio State. His name slips my mind right now.
Mel Tucker. Yeah.
He used to be the defensive coordinator for the Bears.
Yeah.
$95 million contract
extended
is what he was off. I guess the Spartans were pretty high on beating the Wolverines.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that the Ohio State fan base took that kind of personal, like, okay, all right. They put the pressure on the Michigan State Wolverines. I mean, the Michigan State Spartans. And it came out big on them. I mean, I was on my way home from a Saturday morning basketball practice, expecting to see this game. Mm-hmm. This was a big game. I really wanted to get home and check this one out. But by the time I got home, it was already 28-0. So I didn't key in on it too well. But two things that stand out about Ohio State is the running game.
Mm-hmm.
Stroud played particularly well, but he was 32 for 35, 432 yards.
3 wide receivers had 100 yards.
6 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Stroud. Then you had Teague run 21 times for 95 yards and a touchdown. Now, 56-7 was the final score. Okay. Now, when I look at this game, I just saw highlights. I didn't really watch the whole game, but you didn't need to see much. It wasn't much to see outside of the Ohio State Buckeyes. I mean, they jumped out on top of the Spartans. Now, going into the game, we had Walker. Is it Kenneth Walker?
Yep.
He going into the game with Heisman hopeful abilities.
Right.
And coming out of the game against Michigan, I felt like Michigan allowed him to do a little bit too much. And but he had about 5 touchdowns against Michigan.
Exactly. On the dot. 5 touchdowns.
And I just felt like they let one guy beat him.
Yeah.
So going into this game, Ohio State held him in check, and only gave up 7 points to the Spartans. But I just think they put a lot of pressure on the coaching staff with that $95 million
extension
pay increase that they gave to Mel Tucker.
Yeah.
Now if he goes 0-2 after they get this extension, now they got Penn State coming up. I mean, it's gonna take a little sizzle. I mean, he paid. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I believe it. He's worth every dime of it too. He's worth every dime of it. If he signed the dotted line, he's worth every dime of it. I think what he did was he just raised the bar for coaches and pay raises throughout college football and maybe even professional football.
Mm-hmm.
So they put a lot of pressure on the Michigan State program going into their game, and Ohio State applied the pressure, setting themselves up for the game. Then later on that afternoon, had a chance to watch a little bit of the. I had some trouble catching this game with Michigan and Maryland, and Michigan played particularly well. My boy AJ Henny got a chance to run one back. No, was it a screenplay?
No, it was what is it, like a throwback on the kickoff?
Yeah, yeah. AJ Henny got in his own. I believe that was his first Michigan touchdown, was it?
It's either his first or I think he got a receiving touchdown earlier this year, but
this season.
Yeah.
All right, so I believe now. Remember, I told you guys a couple weeks ago when I came over and watched the game when they played the Hoosiers. I felt like Michigan can beat Ohio State.
Mm-hmm.
Then I saw not so much the passing game, but they got 2 stud running backs to throw at you.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think they have to contain those guys. I don't think they're going to give up 56 points at all. I think it's going to be first team to 25, 24 points is going to win this football game. It's going to be, I believe it's going to be a classic Michigan-Ohio State football game going to Ann Arbor. What do you think?
Well, it's only a classic if we come out on top. Let's just say that first. I mean, I don't know if you realize we ain't won this game in 10 years. The last time we won was 2011. So going into the game, I see what Ohio State did to Michigan State. And shout out to Snack Daddy number 12. He been saying all year, Michigan State ain't that good. They just ain't played nobody. And they beat us they got some calls that went their way, and they beat us. Now still, we should have stopped Kenneth Walker. We can't give up 5 touchdowns. They beat us. Then they lost to Purdue. They just got housed by Ohio State.
I predicted that as well.
Right, yeah, you called that. They got housed by Ohio State. So it's like, okay, maybe 12 is right. How good are they? And that's the same thing he's been saying about Michigan this year too, is we ain't played nobody. Well, I got to say, you got to play who on your schedule, number one. Michigan, although they did lose to Michigan State, they still did what they had to do to put themselves in position going into this game for it to mean something other than just get off the snide. You ain't won in 10 years. So I'm glad to be in that position. I'm glad we're here. I'm nervous. I don't know what to expect. I don't think we're gonna get housed this year. I can say that. I don't think it's gonna be a 62-39, 56-29 game. I don't think that's gonna happen. I don't think Ohio State's defense is as good as it's been in the past. I don't think Ohio State as a whole, when they had Justin Fields, I thought they was like a A- football team, because obviously Bama was probably A+, Ohio State was A-. I would say Ohio State is a strong B+ this year. We in the B- to C+ range, but what you said, we got something that I don't think they've seen all year, is we got these 2 running backs, and we can pound the rock. And we've seen it in person at the Washington game.
Hold on. What I'm saying is, also Ohio State is running 2 studs. Now that brings me to Haskins.
Yeah.
Now they've been running a couple weeks without Corum.
Yeah. Corum could have played last week, but they held him out, so he'd be ready for this. Really, really ready for the Ohio State game.
Okay. Glad you put me up on that because I just felt like they're going to need Corum in this game.
Yeah.
And they're going to need him to play particularly well. And the thing in it, I just wish Jim Harbaugh would scratch the 2-quarterback system. And I just hope that he could just peel back on that this week. You know, hopefully, what's the? I get the Max mixed up. I'm gonna be honest with you. McNamara, McCarthy.
McCarthy is the
starter.
Yeah.
So I just hope he allows McNamara. If he gets a good rhythm, keep him in the game. He's been growing in the passing game each week.
Yeah.
They found it. They figured out they got a big time receiver in the freshman. I mean, just let him get established and don't be so hell bent on getting McCarthy out there because I just think it breaks rhythm.
Hey, I'm with you. I will say now going forward, I like what I've seen from McCarthy other than the fumble versus Michigan State. I think going into next year with him, Andrew Anthony, that's the freshman wide receiver you talking about. Blake Corum will be back next year. I don't know if you got to see the freshman running back, number 7, Donovan Edwards. He had like 8 catches, and he was just a monster last week, yet against Maryland. But we hadn't seen him play all year. He was a threat out the backfield. So going into next season, I think they set up really well offensively. But we talking about Saturday.
Saturday, the game.
Right. We talking about Saturday, right.
If McNamara's coming out playing as well as he did against Michigan State, I hope Harbaugh does not outcoach himself with this 2-quarterback system. C.J. Stroud is going to go out there and, he's the man. They're going to win and lose with C.J. Stroud. Let McNamara play the game. And I just don't know what to expect. I mean, I think Corum is going to be a big plus. You said they got a freshman running back?
Yeah, number 7.
He's going to have, I'm telling you, they're going to have to get a 2 or 3-headed monster going. I don't think Haskins is going to be enough. But I think the trump card for Michigan is the 2 pass rushers, the 2 edge rushers to be able to just put Stroud in the passing game.
Yeah.
They're going to have to play particularly well. And I don't know how you feel about the secondary, but they most definitely have 2 of the better pass rushers in the country.
I think we have to play them kind of like the blueprint on how to beat the Chiefs. Or Tom Brady. We got to get pressure with 4, and everybody else got to drop back and keep everything in front of them. If we do that and make them sustain and go 9-10 plays down the field, I feel good about our chances. Because that's more chances for them to make a mistake for us to capitalize on something. Cool. But if they gonna get big play after big play after big play, like we've seen in the past 3 years, it's gonna be over early.
You got that right. I think Ohio State put enough out. They put enough on the field against Michigan State for Michigan to have something to look at and have something to game plan for. We back in?
Yeah, we had to pay some bills real quick. Xfinity wanted their money.
Okay, so do we need to go back over those things? What?
No, we can talk about this till we blue in the face. And I've said before in big games, we might as well start the game with the other team having 7 on the scoreboard because Jim Harbaugh is going to make some decisions that's going to cost us some points. So if Jim Harbaugh can stay out the way, meaning if Cade McNamara is rolling, just play that hand out. If the defense can keep Ohio State, hey, if y'all going to score, y'all going to have to drive consistently, over and over and over again, the length of the field, 9, 10, 11 plays. We not giving up nothing big. I like our chances. If we're going to give up big play, Michigan can't play from too far behind either. That's a big key. If they get down 14 or something, I don't feel good about it. But if Michigan jumps out early, they can keep Ohio State in front of them, make them take time off the clock, I feel good about it. So the law average has got to be on our side at least one of these years. like I said, we ain't won in 10 years. It's our turn. We overdue.
the thing is, you got two quarterbacks in McNamara and Stroud. I believe McNamara has experience in this game. Am I correct?
No, they didn't play it last year because of the COVID.
So that's one big thing. Is like the game is so big. TJ Stroud, McNamara. These two guys are gonna be their first time playing in this game.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna come down to who plays the best, and I just think who can run the football. I mean, that's typically what it's gonna come down to. Michigan has to do a good job of getting pressure on the quarterback because Stroud doesn't seem like the type that really wants to run with the football. He likes to sit back in the pocket. He has wheels, but I don't think he necessarily wants to scramble and run.
Right.
And I think that can be a detriment if the Wolverines can get the pass rush going early.
Yeah.
They can't give up. They gotta defend so much. I believe they're up to the task, but the offense can't stall, and they can't be making mistakes. They have to be efficient because after what I see with Ohio State, I didn't see this at the beginning of the season. Remember when they opened up the season against Minnesota?
Yeah, and lost to Oregon.
It looked like, it wasn't the Ohio State we were used to seeing. But in the last 2 weeks, they have kind of picked it up, maybe looking forward to this game.
Yeah.
And like I said, I think Corum is going to have to play big in this game. Haskins has been carrying the load since he's been injured. And I think Corum is going to have to play well in this game. Corum he's had some plays that he's left on the field in some games.
Yeah.
Some big catches that he let get away, stuff like that. We need all of that.
All of
that this weekend.
Yeah.
They need it to happen.
Yeah. If our guys do what they're supposed to do, if we get our stars to play like stars, and we make Ohio State drive down the field, I think by 2:30, 3 o'clock, we'll be drinking some brown and singing "It's Great to Be a Michigan Wolverine."
Yeah, they're going to have to put C.J. Stroud in positions where he's doing more thinking than reacting.
Yeah.
You got to catch him in the thought process where that pass rush can catch up to him. And this is, like we said again, this is his first time in the game. McNamara has to play well. If the Wolverines can keep Stroud thinking, maybe they got a shot.
Yeah.
For one, I really want to see you guys celebrate this thing because the past few years, I believe my interest in Michigan football has risen. I mean, strictly because of you guys. And I didn't realize I had so many other buddies and friends, male and female, that were actually Michigan football fans. So I'm really rooting for you guys. And I also found out that, I don't know if you knew this, but I heard the McCaskies were big Michigan fans.
Really?
Did you know that?
I did not know that. I didn't know that.
This is what I heard. And, they damn sure can't beat nobody on the NFL. So hopefully the McCaskies can get if they are Michigan fans, hopefully they can get the win on Saturday and get things going in a positive direction.
Yeah.
Because the Bears will be heading up to Michigan. That's where all the action is this weekend.
Everything is in Michigan, yeah.
As far as we're concerned, we got the Michigan-Ohio State game in Ann Arbor on Saturday morning, and then we got the Bears going out at around about the same time on Sunday morning on
Thursday.
Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
on Thanksgiving Thursday. So, by Saturday, the Bears' fate will be, we'll know what their situation is by then with the Lions. But once again, hope the Wolverines can pull one out for you because I know how big it is for you and the family and the Michigan fan base.
Yeah. Hey, just don't make your prediction when you see Uncle Joe this year. Don't say Michigan gonna win because that don't work out when you say that.
Well, I don't know how the Thanksgiving thing is gonna work out for me this year. I got a couple things going down the pike. I got to kind of figure out what I'm doing on that morning. But I don't know. Uncle Joe, he don't sit around. He's normally gone by the time the game comes on, he's usually
he can't watch the game. He can't watch the game with us. You know, he a Buckeye fan. That's
by the way, Uncle Joe's a big Ohio State fan.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, so we can't watch
So
the game together.
He'll be gone by the time kickoff.
Yeah.
He gonna help you cut the bird, but he be the hell out of town by the time kickoff roll around.
Yep, you know it. You know it.
All right, so that was somewhat of an appetizer. Now tonight, in a few other days, like I said, it's a good time to be a sports fan. And sometimes when you get the hustle and bustle of work, the holiday season coming upon you, you know, you be real busy. But I sat down, I'm turning on TV, damn, the Maui Classic is on. College basketball is up in the air.
Yep.
The Purdue Boilermakers got a big win against North Carolina. Keeping it in the Big Ten. Purdue, you know, cracked the top 5, I think. I was expecting them to be good, but I don't know how good North Carolina is. I just want to bring that out because I seen that the Maui Classic has started at this moment. I mean, it started early today as we speak. They playing in Maui. So great time to be a sports fan. The NBA's got their storylines every week. Mm-hmm. Come on now.
Yep.
LeBron James, he keeps his name in the storyline.
Just got suspended.
So, I mean, it's a ton to go around. Maybe we can get off to the NBA when you get closer to Christmas. I think that's when things kind of heat up.
Yeah.
But those guys really do a great job of keeping their name going week to week. You know, there's always something going on in the NBA.
Yeah.
But last but not least, we must cover our Chicago Bears and the catastrophe, which is the Chicago Bears.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Hey, man, I'll keep it like this. Winning and losing is contagious. When you win, when you're on a winning team, they just keep finding ways to win.
Baltimore Ravens, prime example.
Like the Baltimore Ravens. As we led up to this game, we found out that Lamar Jackson wasn't playing.
Mm-hmm.
I felt pretty good about it, regardless if Lamar Jackson played or not, because of the game that they have the previous week against the Dolphins.
Yeah, yeah.
The Dolphins defense did some interesting things to Lamar Jackson, which made me feel good about the potential of whether or not the Bears can copy some of those things. But then we found out that Lamar was out.
Mm-hmm.
And then a lot of fans, even myself, okay, maybe our chances are even better. Then we found out Allen Robinson was out. Khalil Mack is out for the season.
Yeah.
We already know Eddie Jackson's gone. What's my man? Akeem Hicks was out.
Yeah.
So I set my sights. Okay, we can get a chance to look at some young guys on this roster, see about the future of this roster, and see where we're going. See what some guys can do in certain situations. I really want to see how well Kendall Vildo would play, coming off a bad game against Pittsburgh. He didn't get any better. I see. Justin came out. Justin was inaccurate a few times. You know, he missed some big plays.
Yep.
Didn't really play particularly well in the first half. Ended up getting hurt in the third. The first half was a wash. It wasn't really much to see.
When this was 6-3 at halftime, I think.
Something like that. It really wasn't much to see.
Yeah.
And then he had some throws to Mooney. He had a couple throws to Mooney that were nice, but he was off on quite a few passes.
He was 4 out of 11 when he got hurt. He's 4 for 11, so he didn't do much. Like you said, he missed some throws that we know he can make. I think some guys also had some drops too. Mooney, maybe they overthrew him or they were just off. He missed that, that flag route they run, up and then out towards the goalpost, not the goalpost, the pylon. He missed like 3 of those. And it wasn't necessarily his fault. It was just a touch too long, You know, he caught that one, but his foot came down out of bounds. It's like, it's just off.
It's interesting to me when you talk about the Bears and the Bears offense and the inability to score points. When we get David Montgomery back, and I said at the very beginning of the season, going to continue to hear me say this week after week after week after week. I don't give a damn who the quarterback is. David Montgomery is the best player on the Bears offense. Now, he worked like hell to come back a tad bit early for the Pittsburgh game. Mm-hmm. Now, he could have just waited till after the bye week, came back against the Ravens. Okay? So, he works like hell to come back against Pittsburgh. Didn't really get many opportunities other than he was a decoy at times. They didn't scheme him up right because it led to Mooney scoring a touchdown out of the Wildcat formation.
Right.
With me, when I say that David Montgomery is the best player on the offense, I'm talking about scheme-wise, what you know you can already do, which is run the damn football. And it just seems like for the second week in a row, the Bears, Matt Nagy, Bill Lazor, they just do not run the run. They don't want to run the football. Now, we already know what David Montgomery is, but Khalil Herbert showed himself when David Montgomery was out. You look at it, David Montgomery had 14 carries for like 58, 68 yards, something like that.
Yeah.
Okay?
14 for 58. You got it.
Yeah. So, Khalil Herbert had one damn carry yesterday. One damn carry on Sunday afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how does a guy go from being the most productive guy on offense when your number one guy's out, and then when he comes back, you would think, coaching, scheme-wise, we got two pretty good damn running backs. Kind of like the Cleveland Browns.
Mm-hmm.
Let's beat up on some people. This team needs to be a little bit more physical. But they just not what they done. And then when Fields got hurt, they really threw the running game out of the window.
Yep.
Don't get me wrong, because Andy Dalton came out. He played particularly well. He missed a throw or two. Don't get me wrong. But he did play particularly well. He threw the screen, the one screen play that they got right. Okay, we've been asking for him all season.
Yep.
Matt Nagy came out in this morning's press conference and said, a lot of fans was like, as soon as that happened, they were like, oh, Andy Dalton should be the quarterback. No. No. That was just perfectly blocked screenplay. This is something they haven't been able to get right since the Raider game. We've been trying to get this thing right. But they've been getting too many guys up the field, illegal formations or what have you. They got one right, and Mooney took it to the house.
Right. So, I mean, let's just touch on the running game. The running game has not been the same since Khalil Herbert went down with the injury. When he went down with the injury and came back, I was like, man, he ain't running the same as he was beforehand. So from that point to now, because the running game was our bread and butter. Like, just do that. David Montgomery looked good. Khalil Herbert looked good. Damian Williams, the times he touched the ball, he was looking decent. So we're like, okay. We said at the beginning of the season that we loved the running back room. We loved it. And then we saw in the first play of the season, David Montgomery against the Rams. What did he get? About 40 yards? We like, okay. What we saw was right. But now, since Khalil Herbert got hurt, Montgomery came back. He ain't necessarily looked like he did at the beginning of the season. I was shocked to see he got 14 carries when I checked the box score after the game, because it didn't feel like he got 14 carries. And then the Jakeem Grant, okay, if you gonna scheme that up to throw him a screen or something later, I don't mind him getting that one carry. But what cannot happen, and was just an insult to injury, Khalil Herbert got one carry, just one. And Justin, like you said, Justin wasn't playing necessarily well. Let's turn around, let's beat these dudes up. Let's maul these dudes a little bit. Let's make it a little bit easier for us. But, hey.
And this is the difference between Matt Nagy and Bill Belichick. The reason why I say this is because Mac Jones is getting a lot of praise for playing particularly well. And he is. Don't get me wrong. He is playing well. He's making the throws that are necessary to win games.
Mm-hmm.
When they ask him to make plays, he's making plays. But for the most part, the Patriots are playing good defense. They're getting better. And they're running down football.
Yeah.
And they're not asking Mac Jones to do anything that he's not capable of doing. And it amazes me how a lot of fans still don't properly watch a football game. There's 3 phases to the game. Okay. So the Patriots go out, and I forget who it was they played on Thursday night. They played the Falcons. Nationally televised game. The Patriots defense, I think they had 4 interceptions. They intercepted 3 different quarterbacks.
Yep.
Okay. But that wasn't the headline the next day. The headline was how well Mac Jones played. Come on, man. Watch the damn game.
Yeah.
How many tackles? How many interceptions did Mac Jones have? This is why we do this. I understand the prima donna thing with the quarterback, but it's the coaching matters, man. Coaching matters. Bill Belichick holds guys accountable. That's why the defense is playing particularly well. That's why you don't get the penalties. You know what I'm saying? And all the mistakes and all the errors.
Because what happens if you do that? What happens if you mess up too much in New England? Billy will get you up out of there.
Yeah, and the lack of accountability in Chicago, they didn't do it particularly against the Ravens where they had a ton of flags. They actually did pretty good with that. The Bears had 6 flags, 6 penalties for 58 yards. So, I mean, I guess that's an improvement. But we didn't run it down football. We didn't play to the strength of the team. And it's like every week he's trying to reinvent what this team is. And then he'll come out and say we got to find our identity. Their identity is to run the damn football and play from there. The Bears
work, right?
They play particularly well when they go play action. What was that?
And that's what they was doing in the second half versus Pittsburgh. That's what opened a lot of stuff out. Justin had some naked bootlegs. They was moving the pocket. All that. We didn't see none of that versus the Ravens yesterday. It was just drop back, scan the defense, make the read, make the throw. And I got to say this about the defense. I've been calling for the defense all year. Defense. We just need one stop. Are y'all going to rise up one time when we need y'all to? And I texted you early in the game. I said, yo, I don't know what Vildor is doing. Is he sleepwalking out there? What? I saw it early. And was Tyler Huntley?
Yeah.
He come back on the field. This is his first start. You know, he got to have this drive to win the game. What does he do? He gets some passing interference. He threw an interception. And Vildor gets a passing interference. Like, where the leaders on that defense, when are they going to be like, you know what? Come on now. A lot of this is us.
Well,
the Green Bay game, they didn't get a stop. San Francisco 49ers game, they didn't get a stop. Pittsburgh Steelers game, they didn't get to stop. Ravens game, they didn't get to stop. That's 4 losses on y'all.
And it comes right after the offense go out and have a positive drive for touchdowns. Yes. In every last one of those games.
Yep.
When you get back to Kendall Vildor, now, his teammates, the leaders on the field, whatever, they can hold him for only so much, accountable for so much. But when you continue to go out week after week and make mistakes, you're being allowed to make these mistakes. And therefore, again, we talk about the lack of accountability when it comes to coaching. Where's Matt Nagy? Who's continue to put him on the depth chart and say, put him out there and let him play corner? I know he's young. I know you got high hopes for him. He might be a middle to the high road of a draft pick. You want to see him develop. But he's not getting the job done. And the only way you could show a guy that he's not doing well is to put someone else out there. And then maybe sooner or later, you may not even be on this team, son. So get out there and get the job done. And there's the lack of accountability. We found out, Charles Leno last year was making mistake after mistake after mistake. They never replaced him.
Mm-hmm.
So this is just over the history of Matt Nagy's tenure. He's been known for not having guys accountable. And throughout this roster, you can see it. And guys just know, I'm going to make this mistake. I don't necessarily mean I'm coming off the field. I'm going to continue to get my money, and I'm going to continue to get my snaps no matter what. Lack of accountability.
And that's why you had the crowd screaming, chanting, "Fire Nagy" yesterday. Like, they may not watch the game or be in tune with it, seeing what we seeing, but they know they not seeing what they supposed to see. And they know where that falls. Head coach. Yeah.
There's talent on this football team. There is talent on this football team. Every once in a while, it shows itself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And when I say it shows itself on plays like Marquise Goodwin being able to pop the top off the defense and get that late touchdown from Andy Dalton.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? There's talent on this football team. Justin Herbert, with the production he had when David Montgomery was out. There's talent on this football team.
Mooney.
Darnell Mooney. Okay? Cole Kmet. He's inconsistent, but sometimes he shows up and makes a play.
Mm-hmm.
There's talent on this football team. Where in the hell is Jesse James? He tends to make big plays from time to time. Why can't we get him on the field more? Because it comes down to this. Week after week after week after week, after one guy shows his ability and this guy shows his ability, the coaches have the lack of the ability to put it all together and make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
This is why a lot of fans want Matt Nagy gone. We can get into that later as to who you may or may not want in that situation, because I'm hearing all kind of names. I've even heard the Ohio State coach.
Ryan Day?
Yeah. And I'm like, come on, man. Come on. I don't know if that's the move you want either. Now, if I had to pick between Ryan Day and Jim Harbaugh, who would you want?
Ryan Day.
Okay. Why would you want Ryan Day? We just throwing this in there.
Oh, well, I just told you about Jim Harbaugh. Jim Harbaugh, big games, you might as well start the game down 7 points, because his coaching, he's going to cost you. And he's shown you the arrogance of kind of like Matt Nagy. Like, I'm going to do this my way. I'm not going to do it like Bill Belichick. Like, you know what? This is the strength of the team this week. We're going to play to that. Next week, we're going to exploit this weakness on this team, so we're going to play to that. No, Jim Harbaugh he's concerned with, okay, we're going to win, but we're going to win my way. And I don't want that. We need a coach that's going to come in there, okay, they weak right here. We can exploit this. We can pass. We can throw the screen game this week. They weak on the front line. We can pound them to death and run the ball. I want a coach to come in and be able to accurately assess that and implement a game plan to result in success. So I know it's a lot of guys. There's 32 coaches in the league. I don't want Jim Harbaugh coaching the Bears. I don't. I don't.
Let me tell you something.
Let me ask you this question before you go there.
I'm gonna give you a pick. I gave you a pick of two guys, and the reason why I did that is because those are two names that fantasy, I guess, just like a fart in the wind. It just people just throwing it out there, okay?
Yeah.
So, what was your question? Go ahead.
Okay. If let's just say we got the same exact roster we got right now, we take out Matt Nagy and Ron Rivera was the coach of the Chicago Bears team. What's the record?
Hell, what are we now? 3-7?
3-7, yeah.
Oh man, 3-7. So that's 10 games down. I'd say the Bears would be 6-4.
There you go. It's right there. That's the answer.
With this roster, 6-4, under Ron Rivera, running the hell out the football, playing good defense, 6-4. The only reason why I say 6-4 because you still got a rookie quarterback figuring things out.
That's basically what he got in Washington. He got a great defense. He got Tyler Heineke or whatever he is. He really not the guy there. They got a running game.
Hey, I believe we agree on that.
Yeah.
But see the thing, when we get back to the Harbaugh Ryan Day thing, and I understand that there's a lot of people that want to see Ryan Day reunited with Justin Fields in the NFL. But the problem I have with that is it's not all about Justin Fields. It's about 53 guys playing well on Sundays or any given Thursday or Monday night, okay? And it's the lifestyle of being a pro, okay? All of these things you got to make the adjustment to as opposed to being a college coach and, grooming young men, young boys to be men.
Yeah.
But now you got professionals where you can't really tell them what to do. It's just a different lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think that if we're going to look at those two guys, I mean, just for conversation's sake, Jim Harbaugh has been there and done that. Now, at the college game, I just think Jim Harbaugh is losing in the recruiting. He can't recruit.
That's true too, yeah.
Okay? But I believe when you give him like an NFL roster such as this, he would do better than Matt Nagy because he has enough damn sense to know we should be running the damn football.
Oh, yeah.
He has enough damn sense to know that we should be playing to our quarterback strengths. He has the tools to know that these guys are professionals. They have a lifestyle. They have families. They're men. And that's the only reason why, if you had to pick between the two, I'm going with Harbaugh, given to the lineage of the Chicago Bear, the former Chicago Bear quarterback. But I'm just saying between the two.
Yeah, yeah.
You get Brian Daboll. There's all kind of names being thrown out. So I think it's pretty evident that Matt Nagy will be fired.
Oh, if the word is if he lose Thursday, he gone Friday morning.
That's to be seen because the Bears have yet to fire a coach
in the season.
Mid-season.
Yeah.
So I guess it's a first time for everything. And when you talk about the fact that the fan base is jumping on board and jumping on the case, fire Matt Nagy, you're trying to get this new construction thing going on, building a new stadium in Arlington Heights. All of this stuff has to play part into what the fan base may want.
Mm-hmm.
So going into Detroit this weekend, I mean not this weekend, but Thursday, Turkey morning.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this is gonna be real predictable. Watch this. The Bears will run the hell out the football.
On Thursday.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, it's been word that Andy Dalton is going to be starting this game because they don't think Justin Fields is going to come back from this rib injury. And I really don't mind seeing Andy play. Because, like I tell you, I don't care really who the quarterback is. Long term, I want to see Justin Fields be the stud superstar that we need him to be. But going into this game on Thanksgiving Day, I really want to see what type of game plan they roll out with Andy Dalton because it gives us an opportunity to really see Andy Dalton play a whole game. We haven't had that.
Mm-hmm.
The coaching staff has been under pressure to play Justin Fields because of the fan base and the media. And, I mean, I support that. I'm a Bears fan. But it's going to be good to see what they do with Andy Dalton when they can game plan Andy Dalton for the whole game.
And that's why I don't think they're going to run the ball a lot because Andy is going to be back. Andy threw the ball, 20 times in a quarter and a half on Sunday? So 23 times. He was 11 out of 23. He came in the third quarter. So I just think they're going to have faith, or not they, Nagy going to have faith in him to like, hey, I can go out here and run my offense and do what I want to do because he can do it. And I think it's gonna be more of the same.
I think that's what we saw when Andy hit the field on Sunday afternoon once he got in the game. They just went hell bent on running their offense, and David Montgomery wasn't a part of the game plan, and we know Khalil Herbert wasn't either.
Yeah.
Another interesting stat that I heard at the end of that game was that the Bears rank last when you talk about throwing the ball to the running back. They're the worst team in the league when you talk about throwing the ball to the running back. Now, David Montgomery is one of the better running backs in the league. I think we can agree on that.
Yeah.
Years ago, they got rid of Jordan Howard because he wasn't good in pass reception. Okay? But now here we are 2 or 3 years removed from Jordan Howard, and we still rank last at throwing the ball to the running back. I don't think Matt Nagy has a clue what he wants to do, and I think it's been long enough. 4 years is long enough. You don't know who you are. You don't know who you... I think he has an idea who he wants to be. He wants to be Andy Reid. Mm-hmm. That ain't working in Chicago.
Right.
I mean, even Andy Reid has, threw the game plan out and decided to run the ball from time to time. It's about winning football games. It's not about... Yeah, you got to establish an identity, but it's got to amount to victories.
I think Nagy's problem is, like you said, he want to be Andy Reid, and he done lost himself. Not saying he knew who he was when he first got here at the Bears the first year, because I told you him going 12-4 that first year was the worst thing that could have happened to him, because he just thought it's all me. It's all me. I took Mitch Trubisky and I went 12-4 and we lost on a double doink field goal. It's all me. And I don't think he really found out what his philosophy identity is. I think if he get another head coaching job in the league, I think he'll be better for this. It's just unfortunate that his learning experience that came on our watch. It's too many voices in his head right now. And he don't know how to sort that out, cancel that noise, and just, okay, this is what I need to do for my team to win. Because I got to be Matt Nagy. I got to be Andy Reid Jr. I got to make this Kansas City Chiefs East. And it's not that. It's not that, bro.
What I wanted from Matt Nagy, like I say, he looks like a great guy to have a beer with. And I don't even drink beer.
Me either.
But I would drink a beer with Matt Nagy. Okay, seems like a good guy. And coming into this season, I wanted to see him grow as a coach. I wanted to see him grow as a coach. What I mean by that is realize what your team is, recognize matchups, play to the strengths of your team, and then when the things happen, make adjustments. He's done none of that.
Yep.
He's done none of that when you include the lack of discipline. Seemed like a great guy, but not a good coach. Hey,
like I said,
you ready for the Detroit Lions? Detroit has not won a game this season.
Don't let it happen if Detroit wins their first game on our watch, that's a fireball offense. It is.
It puts a lot of pressure on the Bears organization in the front office to either just go ahead and do something they've never done before, which is fire Matt Nagy mid-season. But what you don't want to see is they go out there and beat down on Detroit and think, well, hell, we back up and running. Everything, all systems go again. Yeah. It's always something to look forward to with this Bears team.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can laugh at them, or I can cheer them on.
Right.
And right now, I'm kind of right in the middle.
Right. Teeter.
Kind of right in the middle. Like I said again, so I'm gonna go out on a limb. You say that Matt Nagy's gonna be pass happy. He might be. I wouldn't be surprised. But I just think for the past few weeks, when the fans criticize him, he kind of takes that beating personal and he does exactly what the fans expect. And I think that's why I come with the assessment that he may run the football more.
But that goes to my point. It's too much noise in his head and he don't know who he is. So until you get past that, we're going to keep having these, 1 step forward, 2 step back. type of situations with him. But like I said, it's unfortunate that he's having to learn this on our watch as the coach of our favorite NFL football team. But it is what it is.
When you talk about, we're gonna wrap it up. I want to bring out some things positively from that game. I mean, I can dig out some positives even in a game like that. Jakeem Grant he's been implementing the game plan a little bit on offense. I think he had a couple catches. He had a run. Tayshaun Gibson had an interception. That's the takeaway we've been asking for.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't had a takeaway since the Raider game. I mean, 3-4 weeks without a takeaway. Roquan Smith played particularly well.
And he had like 15 tackles or something like that?
Say it again.
Didn't Roquan have like 15 tackles or something like that?
Yeah. I saw that number and it didn't look real to me. I'm like, damn, he played particularly well, 15 tackles. And then Robert Quinn had 3.5 sacks. And he had just missed one on that bomb that Huntley threw to Watkins.
Yeah.
He was just a hair away from getting a big sack on that time. So those guys played particularly well. I don't want to go all night without mentioning them because they were bright spots in that game. And up until the last drive of the game, the defense played particularly well. I mean, you kept those guys to 9 points. They kept them out the end zone, 3 field goals. But once again, the offense being stagnant and not kind of figuring out who they are and what they want to do, left a team without their leading passer, Lamar Jackson, and without their leading rusher, Lamar Jackson, and without their best wide receiver,
Hollywood Brown. Yeah.
So you let that team, the team that the Bears put on the field Sunday afternoon was better than the team that the Ravens put on the field. They just didn't get the win.
I agree. And as we give the kudos, I'm gonna give kudos to Andy Dalton on that throw he made on the 4th down, because I know you listened to the radio broadcast. He audible twice on that play. He checked twice and went to that. That took some guts. He adjusted the protection. I don't know if Justin's at that level yet that he would have made that read and made that throw. But that was a great call by Andy, so I'm gonna give him his kudos on that. Mooney, he didn't have a big game. He was effective. I still like what he's doing. He had a couple drops. We already pointed out Roquan Smith, 13 tackles, 4 assists. I mean, it was some guys that balled on Sunday. It just wasn't enough guys that balled.
Not enough. And then I got to point out Sean Desai on this because we got a rookie or first-year defensive coordinator that really let the game get away from him. I don't know if it was on the players or on him, but they didn't get the job done again. Another week where the offense go out and score a timely touchdown, and then our defense go out and just give up points, just like that.
They give up the game, yeah, pretty much. That's the full
yeah.
thing that happens, though.
Kendall Vildor on that pass interference. I mean, we can go on and on about it all night, but the bottom line is, like I said earlier, winning is contagious, and so is losing. And the Bears continue to find ways to lose.
Yep.
Now, you got 2 football teams that are not playing particularly well, but I do think a lot of people around the league think that the Detroit Lions are playing tough. They just can't get the job done, week in and week out, getting wins. And if you follow Detroit on Thanksgiving Day, they always play tough.
Mm-hmm.
They always play tough. The question is, that team comes out playing inspired football. What Bears team are they going to quit? Because we already got so many guys out.
Mm-hmm.
Are those guys going to quit and all hell break loose? That's why it's always something to look at with this football team. It's always something to look at. There's only 17 precious weeks.
Yep.
And I want to see every last one of them because we're going to either celebrate it or we're going to laugh at their ass. Bottom line.
Week 12? Like the season was like this.
Yeah.
We already in
It's
week
always
12.
some meat.
Yeah.
It's always some meat on the bone.
Yeah.
So we going to take another bite at this thing. I want to wish you happy Thanksgiving. I don't know what I'm going to be doing that day particular. I may be over at the wood, but I don't know.
Well, you know, hey, if you come, you know we're going to have a good time. Like I said, don't do the annual tradition when you tell Uncle Joe, I think Michigan going to win it this year. For me, don't do that. But, you know, happy Thanksgiving. If you don't make it out there, I'm sure we'll be chopping it up on Black Friday at some point after the game because we got to watch our beloved Bears. We might be laughing, or we might be, you know, giving them praise. Who knows? So it's a big sports week. Man, I'm really excited. Let's just keep this thing rolling, man.
I will be over on Saturday to watch the game. The game,
Yeah,
Michigan versus Ohio State. I will be there. I do plan on being there with you guys that particular day. So I don't know if you guys gonna have Buckeye eggs or what for breakfast, but I will be there. I don't know how early you guys are gonna get set up for that, but I'm looking forward to that game. I'm also looking forward to the Bears just to see how the storyline continues to go with those guys. By the way, Chicago Bulls playing good basketball. Send a shout out to those guys. They showing you how it's done. But I'm looking forward to it this weekend, the holiday season, kicking off Thanksgiving. We're gonna watch the game, the Bears on Thursday morning, and then the Wolverines and the Buckeyes on Saturday morning.
Yep.
So there it is, man. We watched the game. I don't know. Oh, the TaylorMade boys would be going to this Detroit game on Thanksgiving to go see the Bears and the Lions.
Hey, tell them, holler at us. We might need them to do some interview work for us.
I will be shouting out to them. Steven, particularly Steven Taylor, when Andy Dalton threw that touchdown to Goodwin, you know, we were texting throughout the game, and he had a text. He said, I feel pretty good about going to Detroit now. And I text him, I say, Steve, not too fast, because just as I was typing him that in the text, we were getting a pass interference call on Kendall Vildor. So,
Yeah.
TaylorMade boys, hopefully the Bears go down there and get the win. Hopefully you guys have a great Thanksgiving, and maybe you can chime it up with us. Steve Taylor, Chris Taylor, Greg Taylor, TaylorMade boys, man. Watch the game podcast. We get back at you.
We gone.